officially a first time riding review on the Kawasaki Ninja 300. So we're about 35 horsepower and about 18 foot-pounds of torque. So you're not going to break any top speed records, but still plenty of power to have fun with. We got a stop sign coming up. Let's see. I'm going to feel these brakes. Yeah, see, engine braking. I mean, slows you down a little bit. Didn't really do a brake test there. So I'm not grabbing the brakes as hard as I can. Right there, right? Don't want to lock them up, but look out. What was I talking about? The brakes. So they work pretty well, right? This bike weighs what, 370 pounds? Brakes do its job. That being said, I would shell out the extra money to get the ABS version of this motorcycle. If you don't have ABS, don't feel bad. You're still going to be able to stop in time, as long as you're not driving too aggressively and being stupid. Alright, let's see. Okay, well, it's definitely fast enough. Have some fun. Got some skinny tires. Let's feel how they lean. So you definitely have room to lean this over pretty well into a turn. And it's a lot of fun in the turns, actually. I will say that one time coming home, I was in my neighborhood going like 30 miles per hour, and I was leaning over. My toe actually grabbed the concrete and kind of yanked my foot back. Obviously it stood my bike up too, and I could have wrecked right there in my own neighborhood, which would have been embarrassing. But that was rider's error, okay, because my foot placement wasn't correct. My middle of my foot was on the peg. My big toe should have been on the peg. The gearing though, it's good, except for first gear. I just, a lot of people don't like it, and for good reason too. Yeah, and another thing, like engine braking, it's pretty soft. It does slow you down from 6th to 2nd gear, but no matter what speed you're going, whether you're going 30 or 15 miles per hour, if you try to engine brake with first gear, you got to make sure you get your RPMs up higher, because it just lurches you forward very hard in first gear. So keep that in mind. So 20 miles per hour, about 7,000, 23, 8,000, 25, 9,000. It's a lot of revolutions per minute. And it's also a very bad idea to try shifting in the middle of a turn. It's just not very smooth. So a lot of times I'll just not even be in first gear. I'll just stay in 2nd gear if I know I'm taking off. It's a little easier to kill it, mind you, but that way I'm not maxing out my RPMs going through this turn. One thing I really appreciate about this motorcycle is the dash at night. Your needle is blue, it looks really awesome, and your display is very bright. Another complaint I have, I've got my left indicator on. You probably can't see it. I say that because I can barely see it. That's tinted. It's so dumb. It's so easy to ride around with your blinker on and forget about it. You do have a fuel gauge, which is awesome. Oh, see, first gear. Whew. Which is good to have. It's good to have that fuel gauge, because you're not going to be filling this bike up very often. So it's easy to forget, when was the last time I actually put fuel in my motorcycle? it's good to have that. Lets you know, okay, I'm finally getting low. Because you get 70 miles per gallon on this motorcycle. And you've got a 4.5 gallon tank. Yeah, it matches the car. He likes orange. But I do think that the Ninja 300, Kawasaki did a great job styling this bike and making it look very sexy. It looks like a ZX6R until you're next to a ZX6R. You don't have much there for brakes, but it does the job. Like I said, I would recommend ABS. The integrated turn signals look fabulous. Doesn't sound that cool, and even with aftermarket exhaust, you know, it's just my opinion. Even with a full system Akrapovic exhaust, sounds better, but I mean, still gonna be compared to a lawnmower most likely. So I'm 5'10". This wind is hitting me right in the center of my chest, so the stock windshield doesn't do as well of a job. My legs don't feel as cramped up, you know, unless you're 6'3". I think this is a solid option. Some of the most fun I've had on a motorcycle, another squirrel, geez. Some of the most fun that I've had on a motorcycle is riding the Ninja 300 with my friend Keegan when he had a 250. That was one of the most more memorable rides for me. Yeah, see, it's just a ton of fun in these curves. You can really lean over. I'm gonna say that when you have this little power, it's much easier to launch if you're, you know, out racing. My Gixxer 750, I'm not really that great at launching it. This bike, I can launch it all day. Now, there's two things to being able to launch a motorcycle. The first thing you need is balls, right? The second thing you need is skill. And I won't say which one I'm lacking. It's a great machine to practice on before you step up to something bigger and try practicing launching that. By the way, I'm not saying this motorcycle is more fun than a Super Sport, okay? All the time. But there are circumstances where it is more fun. Another reason this bike is sometimes more fun than a Super Sport is because you can go wide open throttle and you don't really have to worry about the bike walking out from under you or getting away from you. Yeah, sure, there are times if you're in the middle of a turn, you don't want to go wide open throttle, because yeah, you're probably gonna lay it down. But yeah, you don't really have to worry about this bike getting away from you for the most part. Also right there, I always, that's my lean test. I think this bike passed the lean test. But I'm on the highway with traffic going 70 and the wind's not really bothering me too much. A good windshield would definitely make a difference. But where I'm mostly feeling the wind is actually on my legs. But the bike, not to say that it feels planted, but it's not terrifying. And it's nothing like the cruisers that weigh 100 pounds. But it's not an awful experience on the highway. I'm not having a lot of fun right now, I will say that. I would rather be on the curves. So let's go ahead and gun it. I'm in 6th gear. Going 80. That's a 10 mile per hour increase. Not terrible. The seat on this motorcycle is not very comfortable though, I will say that. I think I'm overall happy with the mirrors. They do look stylish. You will have to check over your shoulder, but you need to be doing that anyway. You don't really have to chicken wing as much. I think I pull my arms in even more when I'm on my Suzuki 6 or 750 than this bike, now that I think about it. I do appreciate that there's not a whole lot of front end dive when I squeeze that front brake lever, making for an even more comfortable ride and instilling more confidence in braking. Let's be a hooligan. Woo! So you can still be dumb. I love this bike. Best $3,000 I've ever spent, this motorcycle, seriously.